Hey, welcome back. All right, it is time for a workout. So it is now 2:12 a.m. and I just paused my workday. Pretty much I woke up at 2 p.m. I'm on a late schedule at the moment, and I put in a days of work and I had to extract myself from the computer and get ready for my workout. Now, today's chest and back, or back and chest. I like to do back first. Now, my reduced frequency workout schedule continues. What does that mean? Well, currently I'm working out every other day instead of the usual every other day. And the usual every other day is ideal for me because I know it puts on the most muscle. I've also tried 7 days a week and 6 days a week, and that is the sweet spot. But I'm in the middle of a launch and I need to pull this off. So it's taking a lot of my time. I'm working 70 to 80 hours a week, and I have bet everything on this. I've been working on this for over a year, over 2,500 hours, and that is taking the majority of my time. So the workouts have switched to every other day. And I was doing a bit of research on this, and pretty much I will take a penalty. So what I did was I took time under tension, the full routine, I put it into Super Grok, and every other day gets you a 40% hit in hypertrophy compared to every other day, which is quite a lot. However, it's still a net gain instead of decaying, but I can tell I do feel not as pumped as I usually do. But yeah, so I'm going to do the schedule for now, and I did one more thing. I added what's called an ignition set. So actually, I did an analysis of the ultimate ideal frequency would be on, off. So it would be chest and back, then arms, biceps, triceps, and shoulders, and then legs. Speaking of legs, my legs are really sore from last workout. It was really good. I pushed to failure. So that would be the ideal workout. The next ideal one would be every other day. And Grok gave it a rating. So I forget what the rating was, but pretty much I'm going to summarize by saying if I do an ignition set, it's not really an ignition set, I call it an ignition set, in the mornings, I can make these every other day workouts almost as good as working out every other day. So how? Pretty much I have a 20-pound dumbbell when I wake up. For now, for this reduced schedule, what I do is immediately I do 30 reps of bicep curls, 30 reps of shoulder deltoid raises, like that, and then 30 reps of tricep overhead press. And I usually push to about 20 reps. I approach failure, I hit failure, and then I take a 5-second break, then I do 10 more. So I'm doing a superset as soon as I wake up with one rest pause and hitting failure twice across 3 exercises, which gets me 5 extra sets 7 days a week, which adds 35 sets extra per week. So it takes me like 5 minutes to do. And I don't take a break between switching muscle groups. So what does that do? Well, one, my tracking sheet, which usually I like to get about 80 reps, 80 sets per week. Currently it's looking like at about 30 to 40 sets per week, which is going to throw off my sheet. It's not going to look great, I know, when I look at the end of the quarter. So that's how I'm offsetting it. I have this, as soon as I wake up, I have this superset routine I do with one dumbbell. I'll actually play that video right after this opening segment. I filmed it in the morning to show what it looks like. So that is what's going on. Now, because I'm working out every other day, it does mean I need to push super hard for this to stand a chance. I can't go in there and do a half-assed workout now after taking 2 days off and not get another stimulus for 2 days. So I will go in there and I will be doing chest and back, and I will push myself to failure as hard as I can. But also, I need to be efficient. Now, I gotta get in there, do my workout, and get out. I'm in the middle of a launch. So long story short, pretty much, I am launching this training academy, and I've been fine-tuning the various dials. It's my online entrepreneurship experiment. And this is something I really wanted to do. It was like compelling desire that I had to fulfill. I really wanted to try my hand at digital entrepreneurship, creation, and all of that. So I did. I left an extremely good job, salary equivalent of over 400K per year. It was like $16,000 to $17,000 a month after taxes take home. So I saved up money, I left all of that, and I worked on this academy for about a year now. And I am launching, and it is getting hairy. I'm not gonna lie, I'm struggling. So let's see, I have to crack the code. I have to figure out how to do this. And I have a solid product. It's a product I spent 2,500 hours on. It is an algorithm in the form of a course and weekly touch points with myself in a group setting that takes an individual with some professional experience, at least 3 years, because there are professional certifications that are required, and it turns them into a professional project management consultant in the domain of business intelligence and data analytics. Essentially, I was working as a data project manager consultant, and it takes all of my expertise, productizes it into this extremely deadly course, and turns someone into a super competent consultant. So that is why I am doing these workouts at 2 a.m. and doing it after 12 hours of work and pushing myself 80 hours a week, because even if it doesn't work, I want to look back and know that I tried my best. Okay, so that's the background of that. And let's see, how's that going? I need to change the strategy. So I had a lead magnet with my tracking sheet. Now this tracking sheet is awesome. I've been using it for, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years. It tracks your sets, it tracks your focus hours, it tracks the number of minutes you read. And I like it because it keeps me on track, it keeps me focused. It's the guardrails for all of my execution. And that's how I got my transformation. You can click on my profile and check it out. I put on 40 pounds of muscle. So basically there's a strategy, which is you offer a lead magnet to prospects, you know, people who visit your website or watch your videos. And then that entices them to check out your stuff, and then slowly you update them. And then through the power of statistics, if a lot of people check it out, maybe 1% of them will be interested in what you're doing. However, I don't think anyone really wants that tracker. Even though I like it, I don't think anyone really wants that tracker. It's a really good tracker. Maybe just because the volume is low. So I came up with a new plan. I am going to do two things. I'm going to create a new blog. The blog is going to be called thedeadlyconsultant.com. And what I mean by that is an ultra competent consultant. So the approach I have is you get the highest project management credentials and the highest technical credentials, as well as specific knowledge. Now, what is specific knowledge? It's what Naval Ravikant, a very, very wise entrepreneur, says. It's not something you can learn directly from the class. It's something you learn from being in the trenches, from being at the frontier of knowledge. So I take project management, professional scrum master, Azure Cloud Architect. Everything is built on data and cloud these days. Principles of data engineering, along with the specific knowledge I have from my consulting career. I package all of that. I'm going to turn it into a blog, and I'm going to drip feed it to people how to become an ultra competent consultant. And I'm going to make a new lead magnet, which is going to be my roadmap. Now, this roadmap is very valuable because it took me a lot of time to make, and I wasn't going to show it. You can see even on my landing page is blurred out. I wasn't going to show it. Let me rotate the view. So I wasn't going to show this roadmap unless people they signed up for the course, they enrolled and all of that. But after brainstorming with Grok, Super Grok, very good tool by the way, the plan that I came up with is I'm going to offer it as a lead magnet. So whoever's interested in signing up for the email mailing list will get the roadmap on how to become a business intelligence finance technology consultant with the full curriculum and all of the details just for signing up. And that's amazing. It's a free offer. So let's see. So that's my new tweak. But I've been trying to create a new landing page. I've been designing the new lead magnet, and it's 2 a.m. I haven't released it, so I got to go back and do that. But you know what? I'm going to stop ranting because if I talk, I'll just keep on going on this topic. And in fact, after this, I'll show you guys the ignition set I do in the morning, and then we'll start the workout. So I'll edit it and then I'll add it in here. But after that, I will see you guys inside. Hammers, welcome back. All right, you know what? I was actually doing something what I call my ignition set. And I've been doing these every morning right after I wake up. You know what? I thought I would show you. And the reason I've been doing these is because I've been working out every other day because of my startup stuff and all of that. And don't mind me, I look like crap because I just woke up. But this is how I am filling in the gaps. So what I do is I have this dumbbell, And I start with 30 reps of side laterals. So I go like this. Oh, sorry, bicep curls. Okay. And then I do 20 of these. And then I take a rest pause. And then I do 10 more, which gets me to failure twice. Then I switch arms. I do it with the right side. And then I do the same thing, 30 side laterals. And I stop at 20. And then I do 10 more. So another rest pause gets me to failure twice. And then I do something similar for triceps, either diamond push-ups or over the head, one hand tricep extensions. Okay, so I have 15 more of these. Let me do those first and then we'll talk. So I researched with Grok the ideal workouts for myself when I'm doing chest and back, and then arms, shoulders, biceps, triceps, day 2, and then legs, day 3. So typically every other day, Grok gave it a 8 out of 10 rating. Sorry, 8.5 out of 10. And I actually gave it all my numbers and my time under tension and at which reps I've reached failure, and I asked it to evaluate hypertrophy. And it's pretty good. It's actually really good. It takes all those factors. Okay, I have triceps left. So it takes all of those factors and it evaluates the percentage of hypertrophy gains per month, 0.18% muscle or something like that. But for my busy period, I came up with a routine where I go every other day. And I think I got to do this for now because I'm working 70 to 80 hours a week. And to hit my hypertrophy goals, this might be what's needed. So it evaluated going every day. So day 1 on, day 2 on, day 3 on, off, right? So chest and back, arms, legs off, which it gave as a 9 out of 10. That's maximum hypertrophy with the intensity techniques and going to failure and everything that I normally do. I won't go into those details here. We'll say that for the car talk portion. So that gave it a 9 out of 10. And then going every other day, it gave it an 8 out of 10, 8.5 out of 10. And then every other day, the same routine, but spaced more apart, I would lose 40% hypertrophy benefits over the course of a year if I was to do it over the course of a year, because the protein synthesis just takes a dip that's far too long. Every time you work out, you get a stimulus, which increases protein synthesis. The protein synthesis is actually what adds muscle. If the rate of protein synthesis is greater than the rate of protein decay, then you add muscle, otherwise you don't. Things like performance enhancement drugs, they work at the protein synthesis level. When you take them unnaturally, they raise protein synthesis. Or you can exercise, take protein, and raise protein synthesis. But the gap is long. It causes a dip in that mechanism. So I had an idea. I do these things called ignition sets every now and then. I was like, what if I do those 7 days a week? And they're supersets with rest pauses. So there's 3 supersets. And it bumped the hypertrophy rating it bumped it to 8 out of 10. So with the ignition sets and working out every other day at the gym hard, it's an 8 out of 10 on hypertrophy versus every other day, which is an 8.5. And if I didn't have the ignition sets, if I just worked out every other day, I'd take a 40% hit and it goes to 7 out of 10. And I would say even 6 out of 10 because 40% less hypertrophy over the course of a year is quite a lot. If you were going to put on 5 pounds of muscle, you'd put on 3. So if you're experienced, if you're a beginner, you'd probably put on like 20. But so that's how I came up with this. I will go back to my normal routine, but that's what I wanted to show you. I'm going to do these tricep overhead presses. All you need is 1 dumbbell. And I just keep it right under my desk. You do have to do them nice and controlled. You can't swing the weight, especially because the weight is light. It does get hard at 13. near failure, you just want to go super slow and you'll get the rep. Okay, that's failure. All right, so those are the ignition sets. You do biceps, rest paused, 30 reps, shoulders, side laterals, and then triceps, either diamond push-ups or the one-handed tricep press. We'll pause there. We will be doing a workout later on tonight. I'm gonna get to work. I'm gonna put in a solid day's work, and then I'll see you guys for the workout. All right, so that is how I do my ignition sets, and we have finally made it to the workout. So I'm gonna start off with 5 minutes of stair climber. I'm tempted to skip it, but it's been 2 days since I've come here, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll get my core body temperature up, and then we'll get the workout started. All right, so going to start off with pull-ups, and usually when I'm really fresh, been going regularly, not every other day, I can get about 18. So if I lose reps, I know my conditioning is getting weaker, hypertrophy is dropping and all of that. So I'm gonna do 3 sets of pull-ups, each with partial reps, and we'll see how it goes. And I want clean reps, full range of motion, all the way up, all the way down. I'm not gonna rush it, I'm not gonna cheat it. They need to be done properly because I'm not chasing numbers, I'm going for hypertrophy. So I want the full stretch at the bottom and clean reps. And let's go for it. Take a rest pause at 12, gather myself. All right, sweet, I got 18. I did have to really push myself. Usually they'd be a little easier, but I'll take it. 2 more sets like that. All right, set number 2. It's gonna be 10 reps and 5 partial reps. All right, last set, 7 plus 3, that's the target. Definitely harder, 2-day break. It's 3 in the morning now. Kind of took some time after I finished working. I spent like half an hour being unproductive. So paying the price for that now, but if I can hit 7, I'll be happy. Got my reps. All right, so next is seated rows. So here the format is 1 set to pre-exhaust, and then the second set is a triple level drop set with partial reps for the working set. So I'm gonna do about 75 pounds. I'm gonna do 20 reps, nice and clean, and that should wake up the lats. Now I'm making sure I keep my abs tight, otherwise it's easy to pull your back. Leaning forward for the full stretch. And I'm pulling with my elbows. That's how you feel it in the lats. Oh, 15th rep, I feel it. All right, this is the working set. It's going to be a triple drop set. Each will have partials. So 12 plus 5, 10 plus 5, 10 plus 5, 120 pounds, then 90 pounds, and then 70 pounds. All right, partials. Okay, so rest pause for 5 seconds. Okay, 10 plus 5. I'm making a mental note to be in the gym before 1 a.m. because if I get in at 3 a.m., my strength is markedly lower and the mood to do more than my last reps is not very high. So ideally you want to beat your reps in progressive overload, but if I do it at 3 a.m., I'm gonna have a hard time doing that. So mental note to myself, get in the gym by 1 a.m. Ready? Partials. Oh yeah, I feel the burn in my lats on the last set. Oh, feels really good. All right, up next is deadlift. Set 1, warm up, 12 reps. I'm going to go alternating grip, helps with the grip and all that. All right, set number 2, 45-pound plate, 45-pound plate, 10 reps. Next set I'll add 25 pounds on each side. All right, last working set for deadlift. I added 25-pound plate, 25-pound plate on the sides. This one does take me some effort. Last one wasn't too bad. The first one, warm up, is easy. So I'm gonna go for 8 reps. I was progressively overloading these pretty nice, but I paused at this weight. I'm gonna do it for a couple of weeks until it gets easier, and then I'll increase it a little more. Sweet. Lightheaded. All right, bench press finally. Set number 1, warm up. So this is not an ignition set, meaning I'm not going to go to exhaustion. I do want to keep my chest fresh. All right, the first working set. So last time I got 9, and I'm gonna go for 10, or maybe just 9, because it is late in the morning. So let's see. And it's a drop set. All right, I'll take 9. 10's not happening. Okay, drop set. All right, so this is set number 2. I'm gonna go for 4 plus 6. Last one, especially on the drop set, that was proper failure, so I want to push for 4, but let's see. All right, sweet. All right, drop set. All right, so this is the last set, and from my hypertrophy logs, I need 5 and then 6 on the drop set, which kind of seems impossible right now. But let's see, I'm gonna go for 5, or I have the safety bars. It's gonna drop on that, so I'm gonna go for 5. Let's see what happens. All right, got it. That last one, I had to like accept the fact it's gonna be slow motion and just push through it. All right, sweet. Last level of the last, so I'm in the home stretch. All right, we're in the home stretch. So last exercise is dips. Now, these ones I just go for the stretch. So it's nice and slow, all the way deep. And the stretch here on this exercise is one of the best feelings for an exercise. So I do it like this. Full deep and up. And then partials. All right, last set. I am gonna superset these with traps because that's the accessory lift. I was supposed to do it in the beginning, but I'll do it at the end. So again, nice slow deep reps and then partials. All right, so I'm gonna jump straight into traps. And I'm gonna do a bunch of rest pauses. All right, that's 20. I'm definitely rushing them more than I should. I did get my reps that I wanted for the workout, but I have to say the overall energy level is lower when I'm doing this at 4 a.m. I think 1 a.m. is fine, but definitely want to come a little bit earlier next time. All right, that's rest pause number 2. I do want to do a drop set, but the weight next to it is 80 pounds and the one I'm doing is 55, so that won't work. Okay, so in that case, I'll just continue with the 55. Rest pause number 3. All right, I'm gonna drop set it to 40. All right, got my workout. Let's do a pump check. All right, sweet. Pretty good workout. It did take more energy, probably due to a combination of late night and every other day working out, but I got my reps. So from my progressive overload notes, I know that if I'm getting my reps, I know my amount of muscle is staying constant. If I'm losing reps, then I'm losing muscle. If I'm gaining reps, then I'm adding cross section to the muscle. And so from that perspective, matching reps right now, I'm pretty happy with that. Of course, I would like to beat the reps, but matching pretty good. All right, let's check out the pump. Feels like a pretty good pump. Okay, we'll go through the mandatory bodybuilding poses. I think that's how I should conduct these. So I've actually been practicing the vacuum, and I'll show you guys what that looks like. But before, one of my videos that I made randomly has over 100,000 views, and it was for ab control. Stuff like that. But I'm out of practice. I could probably do it. The vacuum, though, is useful for the front double bicep. So let me show you guys what that looks like. So the vacuum definitely got better. There's a trick to it. You got to push down on your wrists as you do it, and then you do the vacuum slowly. Let me do it one more time. All right, so that's the front double bicep. Let's do front lat spread. All right. Side tricep. I don't know if you're supposed to do that one with the vacuum, but left side tricep. Back double bicep. What else? There's most muscular, but I found out that's not actually one of the main movements. It's actually a bonus. It's my favorite one, so we'll go for it. Check out the chest variations. Or side chest. I should probably do that one. Of course, the left side is harder just because the brain doesn't know how to do that side. I'm going to have to practice that one on my own. Oh yeah, rear lat spread. All right, that's it for today. Next is going to be biceps, triceps, and shoulders, and I'll see you guys in 2 days. I am looking forward to increasing the workout frequency back to every other day, and once the dust settles with my primary activities, I'll switch it back to, actually I'll go back to every day for a bit as well, just to make up for this sort of relaxed period. But I have to say, it's pretty good. It's still progress. All right, I'll catch you guys next time. Hey, are you interested in project management consulting? Check out my blog where you can get a free roadmap on how to earn $10,000 per month or more in BI-FinTech consulting. That's business intelligence, finance technology consulting. Pretty much that's a fancy way of saying project management consulting in software data projects. This is my core expertise. I studied aerospace engineering, then pivoted, then became a professional project manager and cloud solutions architect. I can teach you how to do this. If you're looking to supercharge your career, be sure to check out my blog and roadmap. Totally for free, link in the description.